Thanks for tuning into this edition of Positively Montana. I'm Hallie Schwinnard. Each week we travel the state looking for stories that inspire, people helping others and doing good in our communities. Let's begin with a Billings family. Through pain and heartbreak, is looking to honor their son's legacy. He was just 28 years old when he lost his battle with cancer. And in those short years, they say, he never wasted a day. Through remembrance, his family is starting a foundation to help others live like he did.
It's easy to see when you look around Jace Bobrovsky's living room.
He lived for an adventure.
Trophy mounts highlighting one outdoor adventure after another, his true passion.
Anything outdoors, if it was hunting, fishing.
I did all that stuff with my dad.
A passion that was passed down for generations, though Jace took it one step further.
So I actually learned a lot from him too, because he did so much research.
A high-energy 28-year-old.
Anything he could do to be outside.
Though in January of 2024, disaster struck.
He found out that he had metastasized melanoma.
That cancer had spread pretty much everywhere, and just 6 weeks later, Jace was gone.
He was our everything.
Nothing compares to losing a child. Has to be the hardest thing ever.
But in their darkest moments, Jace's parents began working on an idea.
Because he was such a great kid and brought so much joy to other people, we knew we had to continue his legacy, to share his legacy.
And so, the Live Like Jace Foundation was created. On Saturday, all of these items will be available at a silent auction event at Henry's Garage, with all of the proceeds going towards helping people in need get into the outdoors.
As we grow and we see all the impact that we can make on people's lives, I think it'll really help us, cope with such a loss.
And that impact has already been felt. This young girl was gifted with a lighter rifle by the foundation after being diagnosed with melanoma. A simple gesture embodying what it means to live like Jace.
I think he would be happy knowing that he's not forgotten.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Last fall, an MTN colleague, Patrice Parks, passed away after a brave fight against cancer. Her incredibly positive spirit touched all of us who knew her. Now, that spirit lives on, not only in her daughters, but through a college scholarship.
Patrice Parks spent many years as a news anchor and reporter sharing touching stories across Montana. Now her story continues to live on after her passing, especially to inspire the new generation here in the Bozeman School District.
Reporting in Bozeman, Patrice Parks.
She always would do this little wink when she would talk to people, and she would just smile and wink at them, and that was like her signature thing.
Bozeman High senior Abby Parks remembers her mom's joyful spirit, her faith, and her commitment to sharing stories that lifted others up.
She always just had a lot of strength through her cancer journey, and she always had a positive attitude, and she was just a really positive outlook on our community.
Even through her battle with breast cancer, Abby tells me Patrice continued to smile and show up for those around her. This year, the Bozeman Schools Foundation established the Patrice Lee Parks Memorial Scholarship, $1,500 to support a graduating senior who faced hardship but remained positive, just like Patrice.
It makes me feel really good, and it's really important to my family to carry on my mom's legacy through this scholarship.
Nearly 20 students applied, and the first recipient of the Patrice Lee Parks Memorial Scholarship is Gallatin High senior Isabella Detterman.
I read her story and I thought it was really amazing, and she just was so strong through all of her hardships, and she always just had a positive attitude through it all.
Isabella has faced her own challenges, but never let it dim her light.
Coming from a rougher background, I went to foster care for a year, and my relationship with my family is not super stable, I would say.
Isabella says after nearly losing her father to a traumatic injury when she was just 5 years old, she became fascinated by the human body, especially the brain. Now she's headed to Lehigh University in Pennsylvania to study neuroscience.
That every interaction I have and you have, it creates more neural pathways within your brain. It's just like fascinating because it's growing all the time.
Isabella says she strives to have as many positive interactions as possible, believing that it's these moments that can really impact a community.
So I feel like having people like Patrice and like so many other students I've got in high school is really important because it brings like the ambience in within the school.
Abby says her mom inspired her to carry on a positive spirit. And as she's heading off to the University of Mississippi this fall, she can't wait to rush a sorority, just like her mom did when she was in college.
She inspired me to always persevere and try my best.
Patrice Lee Park's impact lives on in more ways than one, through the laughter she shared, the stories she told, and the scholarship that bears her name. Her spirit will continue to inspire. In Bozeman, Megan Elaine, MTN News.
From scoops to scholarships, one student is now studying at Yale, thanks to hard work, sweet memories, and a food truck family that never stopped serving love. Her college essay, all about life on the road with mom and dad, was her ticket in. Now, while she learns to navigate the Ivy League, her parents are keeping their ice cream dream rolling, one cone at a time.
It takes a certain kind of person to food truck.
Food truck life is not for the faint of heart, for sure.
And for the Sollies, braving that business is basically genetic.
Just do what you know, right?
Not just a family, but a fleet of 3 options for Meals on Wheels. It would be short to say, here, food trucks mean family.
Our kids were 7, 6, and 12 when they started working in the truck with us.
Many people in town will recognize my kids from being right there in front, taking orders and giving cash back.
But this one, well, this one is different.
I think the biggest thing is definitely the design.
No, not just because it's one of the few ice cream trucks that doesn't look like it belongs in a true crime streaming series.
It was my platinum project, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of feel lucky whenever I'm here, especially like back from college. It's definitely something I miss a lot when I'm gone. Yeah, bubblegum, of course.
Middle child Tegan Solly first pitched this idea to her parents as a freshman in high school, part of a special project for the academically inclined.
I'm a huge Bill Coxon's fan, and so obviously that had to make it in there. It's very much associated with summer for me. I think about it a lot when I'm at school.
But this bus isn't just a pair of parents' love letter to their daughter's dream from the demand of hard work.
When I got to Yale, actually, I read my admissions file, and one of the things that they noted was this ice cream truck, and that they had never seen someone with an ice cream truck before.
Yale, Ivy League, where Tegan is studying mechanical engineering on a full-ride scholarship, in part because of an essay that she wrote about those summers with mom and dad.
I just walk around and I'm like, I'm so lucky to be here. Learning how to be like hardworking, especially like learning from my parents. Like they're 2 of the most hardworking people I've ever met.
See, some families pass down eye color, curly hair. The Sollys, it's drive, the kind that comes with wheels, wrapped in vinyl, and serves a double helping of love.
I got so incredibly lucky with my parents. I think about it all the time.
Marcus Kokova, MTN News.
A group of girls at Will James Middle School in Billings just won $5,000 and will be representing Montana at the Congressional App Challenge in Washington, D.C. next spring. Code Girls United is a statewide program that teaches 4th through 8th graders how to code their own app.
Girls being girls.
The transformation from the beginning of the year to when they appear at confirmation or at competition is really phenomenal to watch.
These are the Will James Middle School Code Girls. And Code Girls Tristan, Haley, and Osa are celebrating their big win.
It was cool. You were like screaming and jumping in a circle.
That's because they just won the Code Girls United App Challenge for their project Schedule.
And so it was like for keeping track of like school, like if you had assignments, we kind of targeted at like teens.
An app the girls designed to help students stay on task and stick to their assignments.
I like that they're trying to get girls together to code together, and that they're trying to teach like female students new things.
They start the beginning of the year and we teach them, we build 4 different apps with them and teach them coding basics in MIT App Inventor.
Also in Code Girls at Will James is Ava, Olivia, and Kinley. These three designed an app called Perfect Product.
Like there's a search screen, there's a profile screen.
There's a barcode scanner.
There's a barcode scanner. So barcode scanner works as you get a product in the store, say like you're interested in it, you scan the barcode and it'll give you the top allergens.
While this group didn't take home a title, they still loved their experience learning how to code and meeting other girls their age with similar interest.
But I like coding and sort of things and like making things. So then I joined in 4th grade and then I've just stayed in it because I really like it.
With many of them likely pursuing STEM in the future.
I wasn't gonna do like coding for a career. I was maybe thinking of being like a math teacher or something.
When I get older, I want to be like a scientist or like a chemist.
I'm thinking I want to be like a computer science engineer.
3, 2, 1, go girls!
In Billings, Matt Carmack, MTN News.
Here she is, Miss Montana, but this year she's being crowned in Butte. The longtime Miss Montana event is headed to the mining city for the very first time.
And we are so excited. It's never been in Butte. It's been in eastern Montana for decades. Glendive and then Billings.
The 75th Miss Montana pageant will be held June 20th through the 21st in the Historic Theater. Much of the credit for the move goes to the 2021 Miss Montana, Jessica Picker, who, as the field director for the pageant, pushed to have her hometown host it.
I wanted Butte to love the Miss Montana pageant and consider it their own, and we can make the Miss Montana pageant in a home in Butte for the next many years to come.
Dodge believes Butte will be a convenient location for an event that brings 20 contestants from across the state.
We're so centrally located. So we have contestants coming from all over Montana. It's a wonderful time to be here in Butte.
Miss Montana 2024, Kaylee Wolfensberger of Bozeman, believes the change will be good for the event.
I'm very excited to come to the western part of the state this year and introduce the organization to a new group of people. And I would love for lots of people to come out and come watch and get involved.
Tickets are on sale now at the Motherlode Theater. In Butte, Sean Amy, MTN News.
Still to come on this edition of Positively Montana, he's 92 and still hard at work clearing trails and picking up trash. We'll introduce you to one super senior volunteering at Norms Island for more than 30 years. Stay with us. Welcome back to Positively Montana. The Yellowstone River Parks Association has worked to support access and use along the Yellowstone River for more than 30 years. Volunteers play a big part in that effort. We caught up with one who's been doing it for a long time.
This is all named after Norm Shainthal.
Just south of Billings on the Yellowstone River sits Norms Island, a 130-acre nature retreat with more than 2 miles of maintained trails for the public to use.
This got cut about 10 years ago.
It's a place where Don Worth has spent a lot of time over the years.
I was just always available, I guess.
Don has been volunteering for YRPA for more than 3 decades, since this place was in its very early stages of development.
We put a lot of trucks of gravel out here. It was all done by hand initially, shovels full at a time.
There wasn't much out here to begin with.
There were no trails, nothing developed, no access. Yeah, it didn't have a bridge till YRPA built it.
With his dog Rocky leading the way, Don is showing me around the island. Dogs are more than welcome here and can be off leash.
How many dogs you got today?
I think 9.
Oh. A little shortage on 3.
Yeah, but 9's enough today.
Isn't that nice to be able to have them run free?
Whether putting out doggy bags, picking up trash, or clearing trails, Don is still going strong at the age of 92. He served in the Army in the early 1950s as the Korean conflict came to an end, and then later became a geologist.
I was a geologist for BLM, a hard rock geologist. I worked with mining claims primarily. Back when, I was sort of proud to say that I worked with the BLM.
So it's not surprising that he loves being out here working in a natural setting.
I like the earth. I like trails. I like climbing mountains.
A guy who's always available, still making a difference. In Billings, Russ Riesinger, MTN News.
One of the Montana Department of Fish, Wildlife and Parks' main outreach efforts is its hunter education programs. And thanks to a growing need, FWP now is in need of more instructors. But don't worry, no teaching experience is required.
One of the big efforts Fish, Wildlife and Parks takes on each year is its education programs. Hunter and bow hunter and trapper education courses are offered throughout the year, and each one of those takes trained instructors. Right now, FWP looking to add some names to its list of volunteers of those instructors.
Fish, Wildlife and Parks, we're always looking for people who are willing to volunteer in some capacity in hunter, bow hunter, or trapper education. Right now is a great time to sign on to that. We just finished our spring wave of hunter education classes, and we're planning for classes that are going to be happening in the summer and the fall. And so now is a great time to sign up and get trained so that this coming fall you can help us with our next wave of hunter education students who are preparing to enter the field.
Jacobson says FWP works around volunteers' time constraints, and they've made it easy to become an instructor.
The process for becoming certified is pretty simple. In fact, Montana is one of the simplest states in the country when it comes to becoming a hunter education instructor. There's an application form and we run a background check on applicants, and then once that process is done, there's some online training that they do, and then once they enter the classroom, there's kind of a one-year probationary period where they teach alongside instructors who've been doing it for some time.
Jacobson notes you don't have to have a degree in education to become a volunteer. All you need is a passion for the sport and a willingness to share that passion with the next generation of hunters. Contact your regional headquarters for more information and application. This week at Region 3 headquarters in Bozeman, Chet Lehman, MTN News.
A steam engine that found its final resting place outside the Butte Civic Center decades ago is about to get some TLC. A Butte man is now spearheading fundraising efforts to return the historic train to its former glory.
I don't think people realize how big of a part of history steam engines played for Butte. And what we want to do is try to get that out to the public so that the people know why this engine is actually here.
Al Hess is spearheading the restoration of Engine 25. With the help of Butte Silver Bow County and several local businesses, a restoration group that formed in 2023 is working to preserve this piece of mining city history.
Originally, it was built in 1899, and it was made specifically for pushing rail car trains. And so this engine's job was to help assist pushing the trains over Homestake Pass.
Al grew up hearing the story of Engine 25 from his father, a Korean War veteran who drove trains in the military. He returned to Butte after his service, where he continued to work as an engineer.
So back in 1958, we were going through the transition of moving into the diesel engines. And at that time, my father was an engineer on this very same engine. He actually knocked the last fire out of the firebox on this engine before it was retired.
Al says it will take $350,000 to restore the train and protect it from the elements.
It slowly started to do some deterioration over the years, but we'd like to make it into another gemstone for Butte and another tourist attraction.
The group will be selling raffle tickets to support the engine restoration this weekend at the Mayfair event taking place at the Butte Civic Center. The event is free to attend. In Butte, Megan Thompson, MTN News.
Still to come on this edition of Positively Montana. He played in the World Series and overcame cancer, but Brett Butler says baseball was never his true calling. Coming up, hear the emotional message about why faith, family, and resilience matter more than anything else. Stay with us. Welcome back to Positively Montana. A career batting average of .290, nearly 2,400 hits with appearances in the All-Star Game and World Series. Former Major Leaguer Brett Butler still loves and works in baseball, but says he has an even more important calling.
Baseball is what I did.
It's not who I am.
Brett Butler played 17 years in the major leagues. He initially did not like the trade from Atlanta to Cleveland in 1984.
And my father said this to me. I never thought that I would live to see the day that you would be in a Cleveland uniform. That was my favorite team growing up. And he goes, and I can't tell you, son, how proud I am of you, and I love you very much. Here's your mom. I'm like, because, I mean, he wasn't a hugger. He didn't do that. The reason why I tell you that is my father, the next day, died of a heart attack at 49 years old.
And his wife was not excited about the trade from the Los Angeles Dodgers to the New York Mets in 1995.
Every off day that I was in New York, while my mom was dying, I flew to Chicago. If I was in LA, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Brett's mother died at the age of 59 while Brett was talking with her on the phone. Butler has also had to deal with his own health issues.
I'm going to accept not only the good God gives me, but also the bad. I've been through 3 bouts of cancer and a stroke. That's why I talk the way I do.
Doctors told him he would never play again during that 1994 season with the Dodgers.
And if the Lord wants me to play again, I'll walk back on the field. I had the surgery May 2nd, walked back on the field September 10th of that year.
Brett Butler talks about his love for God, his wife, and his family. He met his wife while he was playing minor league baseball for the AAA Richmond Braves.
She had prayed to God to put a godly man into her life, and I'm like, Lord, put a godly woman in my life so we'll take all the desires of this away, and we're going on 44 years now.
Butler played in the 1989 World Series during the earthquake that postponed Game 3 between the Oakland A's and the San Francisco Giants.
It's just a humbling thing, realizing that Major League Baseball is just a game, and there's things a lot more important than that in life.
Butler managed the Reno Aces to the AAA championship in 2012 and continues to work with young ball players.
My heart's desire now is to share the gospel to young men, to teach them how to be men and fathers and husbands, and to be a man of God so that they can make a difference in this world.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Positively Montana. Hallie Schwinnard, and we'll see you right back here next week.